We now determine the absolute maximum and absolute minimum of this function f of x, which is 4x cubed minus 6x squared minus 144x plus 1 on the interval negative 4 comma 5. Remember that absolute maximum and absolute minimum can occur at endpoints or at the critical points. So first, let's determine the critical points of the given function f of x. We are finding the critical points of f of x. Critical points of f of x occurs at f prime of x equals 0 or f prime of x is undefined. That is when the first derivative equals 0 or when the first derivative is undefined, we say that we can obtain the critical points. So first I'm going to find the derivative of the function f of x. So I write f prime of x, and this equals, we should find the derivative of each terms on the right side expression. Each term we can apply the power rule. So 4 times of derivative of x cube is 3x squared minus 6 times of derivative of x squared is 2x minus 144 times derivative of x is 1 plus derivative of constant, which is 0. So I just ignored it. Let's simplify this. So this gives f prime of x equals 4 times 3 is 12, and then 12x squared minus 6 times 2 is 12. So it is 12x minus 144. So this is the expression for the derivative of the function f of x. Now we have to set this up equal to 0 and determine the corresponding x from this. So let's focus this equation and solve for x from this equation. First, I'm going to divide all terms by 12 because we have a common factor of 12. So when I divide by 12, I get x squared minus x minus 12, and this equals 0 by 12 is also 0. So once again, we get this quadratic equation in simple form. This can be solved for x by factoring or quadratic method. I'm going to factor into product of linear terms. So I write this as x minus 4 times it is x plus 3, and this equals 0. Because we see that product of minus 4 and 3 equals minus 12. We have it here, and minus 4 plus 3, the sum of these two terms is negative 1, which we have here. So this factorization is perfect. Now let's solve for x from this. That is either x minus 4 equals 0 or x plus 3 equals 0, and this gives x equal to 4, and this gives x equal to negative 3. So these are the two critical points of the function f of x. Also notice that we have mentioned that f prime of x is undefined, but clearly this quadratic function f prime of x, it is defined for all real numbers. So at no points of x it is undefined. So I have just ignored this condition and consider only this f prime of x equals 0, and based on that we have determined the critical points. So let me write the critical points. The critical points of f of x is x equal to 4 and x equals negative 3. Okay, now that we have determined the critical points of f of x, we should prepare a table as like this, with the critical points as well as the end points, and we should also include those critical points which lies only in the interval. Clearly this x equal to 4 and x equal to negative 3, these two critical points lie in the interval negative 4 comma 5. So that is why I have included them on this table. So it's basically we have to complete this table. For that we have to find the function values of for each of the x values in the table. That is, we have to determine the function value at the endpoints as well as at the critical points. So let's find it. First, I'm going to find f of negative 4. So here you have to replace f of x, the x in f of x by negative 4. And when we do that, we get 4 times of negative 4 quantity cube minus 6 times of negative 4 quantity square minus 144 times negative 4 plus 1. And so this evaluates to 225 when we either plug this expression into the calculator or by hand calculation. So I'm going to put 225 into this box. Now let's find f of negative 3. So we replace x in f of x by negative 3. So this becomes 4 times of negative 3 quantity cube minus 6 times of negative 3 quantity square minus 144 times negative 3 plus 1. And so we get this as 271 when we plug this into calculator or by doing hand calculation. So let me put 271 into this box, that is f of negative 3 is 271. So likewise we can calculate for f of 4, as well as we have to find f of I by plugging into the f of x, replacing x by 4 and replacing x by 5 to find f of I. And when we do that, we get the values of f of 4 as negative 415 and f of 5 is negative 369. Okay, so once we have completed the table, to determine the global or absolute maximum, we should consider the maximum value from this table. The maximum value from this table is 271. So we see that global or absolute maximum is 271, and we will find the global or absolute minimum. For this, we determine the minimum value from this table. So this is the minimum value, negative 415. So we see that the global or absolute minimum of this function is negative 415.